are you? It's MJ from Ultra Love TV. I happy full moon. Thank you all for your comments. One of you commented something about snake farts, and then I'm just like, and this is why I love this community, because you guys pick out the best quotes from all the shares and reverb them back to me, basically, so that I can also laugh at myself joking about snake farts and shedding skin. I mean, the shedding skin bit isn't as funny, but the snake farts, that's funny. And that's because of you, Divine Sight. Now we know. Apparently snakes fart and we're good. Oh god, it's hot in this house. So my beautiful roommate is quite into the politics, and as you guys might know, we've had politics. I can't speak this morning. It's probably going to be a pretty short share. And I didn't even like make notes. I just showed up because I'm here and I pressed buttons, I guess. I did have a chat with my mother this morning. Woke up, my roommate obviously wanted to like track because it's all overnight. Thanks for showing up. Cheers. I'll express the kind of the duality and polarity of the expressions today. Hey John Beatty, what up? Are you on a plane? My god, man. You're quite the jet setter, aren't you? Flying back from Seattle, are you? Is it Seattle? Is that where you were? So snakes on planes. Shit. Totally lost my train of thought. I have nothing to say today. What was even today's share about? Change, unplug. Oh, I guess I'm having maybe this is something that happens in the grieving process when you're getting, you said it was hot. Yeah, oh yeah, it is hot because the heat was left on overnight because the roommate, I think, had the best of intentions to stay up all night and track the elections. But and politics, exactly, there. Election, that was the word, not politics, elections specifically, which is obviously like a political thing, but we don't call elections politics. I'm like, it's the politics tonight, you guys. That would be the elections. So she's up, but not, because she fell asleep on the sofa. And I've just turned the heat off because my room in particular feels like it gets like a hot box in here sometimes. So I feel like I'm PMS-y, but I'm not PMS-y. Good morning, Elf herself. Elf, herself, Elf, herself, Elf, herself. That's what happens here, you guys. I don't ever dish out any wisdom. I don't ever dish out anything about the power of love. All I ever do is snap fart. I'm sober too. I had a friend who obviously watched one of my like the cannabis share ones. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, oh, no, honey, like I'm always sober when I'm sharing on like when I write or when I'm sharing on the YouTube. I'm not I'm not stoned. Although one day, wouldn't that be funny? One day it would be quite funny if we could all like get together and like smoke a doobs, probably like the good stuff, and go online to Ultra Love TV and be like, what up, lovers? Oh god, it's hot. So yeah, it's from the last share. I think it was yesterday's share or 2 days ago, Andy P. And this is what I woke up to this morning. Big time. Am I hot flashes? It's not hot flashes, I know, it's just hot. But yay, hot flashes. Oh, but you're in Nepal. Is it hot there? I don't even know for sure. But yeah, I woke up this morning to see Andy P's, yes, everyone in the Ultra Love TV community is like, yes, please, let's do that. I'm like, hey, in our treehouse. Is that, I'm sure that's a post that Elf has on her Instagram that I probably nicked at some point, just never did anything with it. It was like, something like, oh, and that's actually relevant to today specifically, because it was like, everyone else is doing it except you. What? Smoke farting? Smoke farting? Snake farting? Snake fart. Snake OMG. So this is where, this, I can't, I'm having a tricky time. Smoking herb for chat. Ah, dang. I should definitely get on that. I mean, especially today, I'm having a hard time speaking today. Not that I don't think that smoking a doobie would make that any easier in fart smoke. Dude, John Beanie, were you in our share? I'm sure you were there yesterday. But yeah, that's what I woke up there this morning, was Andy P's message being like, quote, this the highest wisdom from the share today. And then it was something along the lines of the snake farts. And then she's like, this is why I love this community, because, and I'm like, dang girl, and this is why I love this community, because you guys remind me of the wisdom that gets dropped on the Ultra Love TV channel, including having a good old laugh about snakes farting. Apparently. I know. Look, we have a new person, Ice Swallow, come. How did they find us? I don't know, MJ, maybe because you're talking about fucking snake farts. And then I'm trying to be clever right now, but it's not it's not working. It's not working. Look, I'm not saying your name again. Because that new person on our channel, oh, I can't say it. I was gonna say something like has a small dick or something, but I'm not gonna. Oh, guy, it's too hot. So how weird is this? Okay, but so like, what up, everybody? Good morning. It's MJ from Ultra Love TV. And I'm in a totally bonkers mood. Feels like I'm premenstrual. So this all feels like I'm expressing a bunch of stuff. But in fairness, this morning was legit. I woke up on the wrong. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Like I was so grumpy, and then and that just kind of persisted. I still have edginesses. I still have edges of grump. Happy post full moon. Maybe it's something. Well, and yesterday I shared, and it was a tough day yesterday. I met up with like a bestie, but I had a dream about an ex. Let's do therapy for MJ. So I had a dream about my ex, and the door firmly got closed. But the saddest bit about the dream was like in the dream. I could cry on the share. But then I'm like, this is nothing to do with the other person. This is just me in my like awareness. But like all this feelings getting churned up of like they only used you, like they never actually cared. They never actually like wanted the wholeness. Oh, see, swings, excitement, like, and then just like the truth, like underneath all the excitement is just this like, I feel like I could just kind of cry all day, you know. And then also just like, you guys know that I moved, but I'm like, it's been really tough moving and starting over again. And like, I'm processing all of this, all to be released across the bridge. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, like I moved, I left a place, and like, you know, I posted on Facebook about it, but and I know I'm like, I own it. I made the choice. I dissolved my career, you know, I did all that for sure. I'm just, I think, processing the emotion of the loss of that, because actually there is so much beauty in it as well. And like, and then I'm processing this underlying pattern for me of like, fuck, I feel like I've just been running away from myself my whole life. And all these different people were all there just kind of trying to be like, put the brakes on, you know, slow down, MJ. So, it's like my whole life now is basically like slowing me down and just like, you know, even yesterday my part of my pattern was just how much I was traveling and packing a bag and going somewhere. And I think if you can stay busy enough, if you can just keep going from one place to another, thanks guys, then you don't have to like, yeah, because I think every part of our lives is something. It's raining here now for you. That's so beautiful. Oh, thank you guys so much. Thank you. Takes being the wholeness to perceive the lack of that aspect. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and then this is a really interesting, which actually, in fairness, ugh, my God, you guys are so important to me right now, and just have for months and years, really. So, this is an interesting polarity, like in the emotion clearing, where, and I was just sort of expressing it, but not in this soft emotional way. I was more like aggro this morning about just like humanity in general, because I'm finishing these Be the Change courses, and of course, like these things happen for a reason, don't they? But I saw some person's post. It was a sale. It was a not a post as such, but like one of those marketing promotions. What am I even trying to say? You know, online guru. OMG. People who put adverts, sponsored ads on the YouTube, sponsored ad on the YouTube, and I've seen this woman's face before. I'm not sure where, but clearly in advertising. So she obviously has an online marketing brand, and the first line of her advert is, all of the spiritual gurus are lying to you. And I couldn't even finish watching it because I thought this is about manifestation, and this is about how to really do the online marketing. And I'm aware for my own brand that I'm finishing the work. I'm finishing the actual creation of product and creating I can't talk today. I definitely need to like rest a lot today and probably drink lots of water. Anyway, and I'm not gonna beat myself up. Yeah, so, and then, but I don't know what I'm even saying. So I guess I'm aware of LL Cool J. LL Cool J. Do you guys remember LL Cool J and J-Lo did a song, which is fucking legit awesome. By the way, one of these days we're gonna find the song. Let's seed plant. Ding. LL Cool J has a tune with fucking the glorious booty that is J-Lo, and I'm like hearing it right now. It's saucy and sexalicious, and I just oh my God, oh my God. Oh, so I swallow. You know, you might have a bit of a troll there handle, but I think you're onto something, my friend, because that is the truth of the legit awesomeness that is. Oh my God. Today's one of those days where I'm like, should you have really gone live? Like, are you really in an emotional state? But are we not with I Swallow? This is what it's all about. I swallow. You are your own guru. You are your own guru. Nobody and nothing is going to tell you. Is going to tell you what is right or wrong for you. You are the only one. John Beanie, you are so clever, John Beanie. I swallow love too. It's been a while. So like even somebody with a bit of a naughty name, I'm like, ooh. So it happens when you've not been like touched in a long time. I don't, oh God. Sometimes I'm like, this is over the edge. I spit. I spit in the what is what do you mean by that, Divine? Malvin, I grew up Catholic. There's definitely like, I definitely get giggly and like flushed when if people are talking about swallowing or not. I'm like, ooh, I spit. I spit. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. So you had to write it like this, girlfriend. I. You guys. So I swallow and I spit slash divine sight. You guys are vibing on a similar frequency here. Maybe you guys should get to. Wait, does that work? If I swallow and I spit? I don't know. I think you need one of each. Do you? Malvin, for real, you feel me. Please save me. Save me. You know Jesus loves us. I do. I mean, way in deep down and way out, the truth is like, it's nothing but love. It is. Like, love really is the container of all this stuff. But actually navigating existence itself in form doesn't always feel like love because there's a whole spectrum of creative expression, I guess. And so, okay, so I've been in the deeps, right, lately, in these last 24 hours, but these last few months, and I'm just like, what is life? Like, come on, what is actually happening here? Because maybe there was this time like, you create your own reality, or it's like, guys, this is how you create your own reality. And then, but then it's like, I dare not even express until there's more clarity from within the self, you know? Except there have been moments where there was great clarity from within the self, right? So I'm like, it's that clarity that, okay, yeah, you can express, but don't think you're gonna know it all, because then your ego is gonna come crashing down, and that is basically what happens. Perpetual is the humbling effect, the humbling, and also the we do and we don't, precise paradox, continual paradox, and hence the ever-flowing nowness. It's only ever now as well, and that's something that I was aware of within timelines of like why we let go and release and create, is that there's like these junctures, there's these emotionally heightened junctures of co-creation where we're meeting in an ethereal sense, i.e. we're thinking about people, they're thinking about us, we're dreaming about people, they're dreaming about us, and we're kind of thinking in this co-creative sense to undo the doing, if that makes sense. And then in the undoing, we go our different ways, but then it's like, when you realize you're living a life that fewer and fewer people kind of are endeavoring to live, and so there's like, there's less tangible attachments in the physical reality. And so in some senses, there's this lostness feeling. And okay, so this is what I was getting to this at one point, but I think some of you guys might fully feel into me. No, I don't mean to. I jest because I swallow. Oh my god. This is why this is going to be a relatively short share. Hi, Shikiki Depre. So there's somebody named I Swallow come here, and it's making me laugh a lot. So my lovers. Oh, and like I say shit like that as well, totally jokingly. there they are. Bo. So here's the feelings of like, okay, there's like this lostness vibrashe, this like infinite hole in my heart, black hole, infinite black hole, where I'm just like, I have no idea what I'm even, what is life? What is my presence here for? You know, like, you know, the deep questions, the mystery questions. And not even like trying to know, not even trying to like, yeah, she was doing yoga. Hey, yeah, what, yoga? I was doing handstands in my kitchen this morning whilst brewing my coffee. That's just how I roll. You just like rock onto my hands and try to balance there for a few seconds. So the point that I'm endeavoring to get to is this curious paradox and polarity of my own awareness, where I have this is all going to be taken out of context for shizzles, but like I have a profound love for humanity, like, and the planet, like, which I figured everyone had and I assumed everyone does, in this sort of wholeness of like the beauty of life, the beauty of existence. I really do. Like, I see this, yeah, it's love. It's just fucking love, right? But without having to be too cliche or just like, love, I love everyone. So legit, I have this part of me that just wants to fucking enfold the whole planet and love all the creatures and all the people. And I feel that projection right now, that kind of like hysterical crazy lady who like loves everybody. Okay. But there is that. There's like this all-encompassing, all-enfolding love that just goes on and on and on and on and on. And then there's the human MJ who who also like there's a lot of like resentment and like and I'm gonna have to sit with the outworking of this, but I'm like, I guess there's like a little bit of this resentment around ignorance and 6 weeks, yeah. Ugh. It's just, it's like bumping up, boom, boom. And you know, when you get really good at being on your own, I sometimes think that's a dangerous thing. When you get the radicalness of being like, yeah, and like, take me away, put me in jail, do whatever you want, because I don't care and I don't want anything from nobody, you know? But then I do, and I'm like, it's heart, love, vibration. It's heart, love, vibration, and I swallow, I spit snake farts, like... Come on, you guys, we're good to go, right? I'm like, you know, and then I'm like here going, oh no, the resentment, and I'm like, the majority of people hate each other and they're not even aware of it. So I'm like, I think we're good. I'm MJ too, MJ. Oh my god, Malvin, you so are. Holy shaznos. I didn't even realize. You end up with my... I swallow. Boom. Let's all give a big ol'... But I mean, in fairness, I do joke about that on this channel, that like from time to time people call All to Love. They're like, ooh, you a sexy lady. Like, what's All to Love about? I'm like, it's not one of those services. You know? I mean, like, let's have a good laugh about it, but at the same time, I like intimacy in private, personally. Like, having a good laugh about whether I spit or swallow is as much as you're gonna get. Oh my god. Oh my god. And see, I feel like this is the Catholic upbringing in me where like I actually feel ashamed that we're joking about the sexuality stuff. I'm like, oh no, I should go to confession after this. Except it's been like 25 years since I've been a practicing Catholic. So exactly. It's not like real shame, but it's there's definitely some subtlety. There's some subtlety in that, like, of the energy coming up. That's part of why I laugh so much, is that there's like a embarrassment slash shamey vibrashe, but not deep enough to actually core wound me. I'm like, I see you, shame, and I'm not gonna actually play up to you. You know, that's just. But yeah, so I went into town. I had a nice day. I had some really nice vegan lunch, which my friend bought for me. I drove down to the coast, which a place called Exeter, which is about a 2-hour drive from Bristol-ish, and had a really, really lovely day. Thanks, Melvin. That's really nice. See, like, don't be too nice to MJ because, yeah. Merely a flesh wound. Exactly. That's the shame piece. Because I'll never forget the days and days of like the deep shame tar slash like I can't even, yeah, it's shame is very thick, very, very, very thick. And I mean, in fairness, it's not by chance that it's that's part of the residue, right? That must be part of the residue of like the shift that we're in. You know, the deepest reserves of this cycle are being released. Up they come, out they go, kind of thing. It must be so. I don't know. I'll bite your legs off. Is that, I'm not even sure what context that's in, but okay. But don't, because I like them. Mainly for walking. Chic, yeah. Black coffee. On a rare occasion, I might mix it up a bit. Holy Grail. Truth. The truth is known from within us, isn't it? Monty Python, the Holy Grail. I'm April. What? I've missed something, you guys. Little roots. As in the shame is the little roots. The flesh wound. Yeah. Like on the surface kind of thing. Holy Grail. What's the Holy Grail about? Plus the biting the legs off. You're funny. Yeah, Aries. I'm an Aries sun baby. I'm an Aries sun baby. So now that we're a half an hour in and I've managed to like giggle about I swallow cum for the duration of this share. And actually what I wanted to do in this share, although I might have to do another one because I feel like the promotional shares should be more succinct. People don't want to just sit here and listen to me gabafaff. Gabafaff. That's a new word that I just made up. Grail quoting. Oh, right, okay. Merely a flesh wound. Bite your legs off. Quote from Monty Python's Holy Grail. Ugh! See, I'm just not like a wizard enough to know. I don't memorize the words. You seem like somebody who like knows the words of things and memorizes. I don't tend to like. I'm like spiritual text. That shit I memorize. But when it comes to modern pop culture, in one ear, out the other. You'd think I would remember though with Holy Grail, because that was significant around the time that I was driving back, wasn't it? I kept getting the inner guidance of Holy Grail as I was approaching Calais after driving insanity. I fart in your dodo. Yeah, that's true. But there has been a lot of ethereal, you know. Ugh. connection. And I think maybe there's this essence of like saying goodbye to people that were never meant for you anyway. But there was like a part of your personality at a certain time of your life that attached itself to that. But I think another part, sorry, I'm just jumping into my own awareness right now of like, I think there's this part of us that like wants to go back around to see it from different angles, to know why we left as well. Or to almost affirm like, yeah, that was never going to be right. That was never going to work out, you know? Mint, by the way. Oh, happy birthday, Elf! Happy birthday, Elf. Is it today or tomorrow? Elf is in Shaw. She's in Nepal. Is that right? You're in the mountains of Nepal right now? I'm sure that is correct. So happy birthday to everybody, everybody. Happy birthday to Elf, but via Elf, let's all celebrate and go hang out in her treehouse in Nepal. And maybe take some edibles. I jest. All right. Okay, cool. So today's share, again, yeah, I'm having my own little, I just don't want to go back onto social media. So if you guys want to share stuff, you can, but I'll endeavor to make actual, like, videos that are more maybe succinct and not, I don't know. I just think people don't want to listen, but then I'm like, who cares what anybody says or thinks at all ever? I'm like, you create your own reality. What is life? Nobody really knows. Although, let's say I swallow cum, welcome to my channel, and I'm super professional in my bed, but like I actually talk about, I'm an author as well. I'm only doing this because we have a new person on the channel. That's my book. It's my book. I believe that there is wisdom in here. Like, this is the thing, is like, this is still, it's all still very true for me. I gotta say, like, it's all real and all very true. I guess I'm having this review of like all these people that I worked with and knew on like a high professional, I mean, like, what does that even mean? Does it matter? Not really. And then this is, I guess, my victim story, is that I go into this victimhood of like people not giving a toss about you anymore. You know what I mean? But the path is already set. Ooh, interesting. I can relate to that, MJ, knowing so friends. You know, that were my relationships in the past shows me better as friends that truly love and support me. Hang in. This is so true, isn't it? I think, and I guess, like, just, you know, making it just simple in my heart, it's just maturity. It's just maturing as a human body. Although, at the same time, it does make me sad that my memory about relationships was very much indoctrinated, I feel, via a disempowered construct, i.e. we're all waiting for that happily ever after, for that marriage, for that person, for that I swallow books. John Beanie, you're legendary right now. Like, first of all, John Beanie's on the West Coast and or flying in the air, who knows, right? He makes music every day on a high vibe level, and is very good at distracting me, but also very, very good. No, you don't grow up. And John, you're very good at turning it around. This is why I appreciate John's presence in my life. He's always good at like innocence and like turning it around to be playful and fun and all about love again. Like, I can't recall much anymore from before now. Ooh, I'm resonating with that. I'm not even sure exactly. Feel you, so single, waiting. Yeah, and I'm having this weird thing, Melvin, where I'm like, embracing it to this feeling like I've, like, remembering innocence, and then also like, why are we all told to get into relationships? Like, I'm not even sure. Okay, I'm just noodling. This is nothing firm. Not that anything ever is, really. But I also get the sense of, like, do you think marriage and children is also part of the enslavement program? Like, is the construct of, like, get married and have babies, is that part of the 3D, you know? I don't know. I noodle with that sometimes. I'm like, is it really joy? Or like, is something really the joy, or is it joyful because we're told it's joyful? So I went into a charity shop yesterday and I stopped myself because I was like, I'm just shopping out of therapy. I don't want to shop. I don't need stuff. I don't feel particularly great about myself right now. So why would I buy more shit I don't need when when there's not a lot of resources to be buying that shit anyway, you know? Dude, I found Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, back in 2000, way back in 2001. I wandered into a shop, an independent bookstore in Vancouver, Canada, and I found The Power of Now, first edition. And now look at me. I still put Eckhart right up there as a legit wisdom teacher. And I kind of see that for myself. Like, he's published about 2 books. That's it. You know? And his message is what it is. And dare I say, the majority of everything else, including my own work, is just a bit of faff. I don't agree with that. In truth, it's all relevant to whomever it's relevant to on their journey when it is relevant. What Eckhart calls the pain body is what I would call the density or default setting. The default setting of the density contained in the karmic backlog. And I go a little bit of a step further. When Eckhart talks about the pain body, I talk about healing and processing the pain of the pain body, right? Through the light of your awareness, which seems to be quite an endeavor and an ongoing process that I sometimes feel only empaths or highly astute, emotionally aware people have the capacity to do. But I could be wrong. I would never want to segregate. Eckhart does have a good sense of humor for shizzles, right? Melvin, I'm with you there, bud. That's what I mean about, like, I have so much deep, profound love for all people. At the same time, I get annoyed really easily with people, and so I walk away. Or, like, it's that classic, I'm sure it's like introvert memes, but like, hey, let's all get together alone separately in our bedrooms so we don't have to actually hang out. Not in close proximity, anyway. Okay, my lovers. I'm just gonna do this for myself. You guys don't have to stick around for this, but I'm gonna do this for myself, and then I'm gonna do another actual promotional video at some point for Unplug for Freedom. I'm now going through, it's like my work week. I'm listing off the shit I need to do, finish the writing for this course, and then do all the tech behind the scenes. Yes, let's all hang out together, but alone together, like what we're doing now, in essence. But the thing is, most of us in this kind of community it would be more fun in the actual togetherness, because of the empathy, there's greater awareness of energetic boundary, so we wouldn't have that issue of like probably annoying, or there'd be less reactivity on that certain level. So if somebody asked for space, you'd just be like, no problem. So I want to go through the Unplug course with you guys, and then keep an eye out, because I'm gonna do a promo for Unplug, but then I'm also gonna be creating a promo for, you're so in, I love you, Alf. I wish we were in Nepal with you just for like a day, you know, or 2. And then I want to create a promotional video for like all 4 together, because I'm starting to realize they're useful to each other. For example, like reading the book is mega useful for doing Unplug course, and vice versa. Doing the plug course, people will probably want to start reading the book. Unplug course, people will probably want to do Spirituality Simplified if they're not already anchored in their spiritual connecting practice, because part of reconnecting here is all about, get meditating, my lovers. And then that was me last night. Like, you know how like I talk about the resenting, like I have so much love and then I have so much resentment. It all goes back to me too. I'm like, I have resentment towards myself sometimes. Like, I'm like, God, you douchebag. Like, talk about all this stuff. Basically, last night I was going to bed being like, dang, I really, like, I need to sit. And the thing is, I just, see, right now I'm feeling stuff. I'm sitting in the stew going, that's all part of it. You don't need to be effing hard on yourself. Like, you're allowed to just be exactly who you are. I'm like, really? Is that totally, part of the thinking there's supposed to be a different way to be is part of where the resentment comes from? Does that make sense to anybody, what I just said? It makes sense in my awareness, the way I'm discerning energy. Is like, ugh, the plight of the empath. All resentment is towards the self. I mean, yeah, and that's the truth of all. That's all energy is ultimately back to self. But then don't we just have to come back to self to then realize it is yourself. It's not other that's making me feel that feeling. It's my feelings about it and the lack of awareness. But I'm like, that's a big piece. I'm like, and that's part of the overarching taking on too much responsibility. Like, if it wasn't my responsibility, I wouldn't give out ass, right? And I'm like, oh, but you don't have to give out ass and you can just be free. I'm like, oh my God, it's mind blowing. And I'm like, but people just walk around with all these emotions in them. They just spew these emotions off like it's no thing. And I'm like, oh my God, how do people do that? But that's like people living in certain conditions or people living da-da-da. It's only our judgment that prioritizes living a certain way when really people just live how they want to live, you know? And then there's this weird false economy which penalizes the poor and gives breaks to the mega wealth. I'm like, oh my God, it's so weird to me, all of it. And it just perplexes me that people don't question it more, you know? Sweet. Villains create heroes. There it is, duality. That's duality, and that's such a huge piece of our mainstream media construct of like divide and conquer, you know? Watched too much Tarzan as a kid. So, lovers, I want to go through this for myself and for anyone who's still here. Just so you guys get an idea. And then what you can gather is that all of the Be the Change courses, all the Be the Change courses have certain themes that are similar. Like each Be the Change course in week 8, we talk about like spreading awareness and kind of keeping on it. Week 7 in each one is dealing with resistance, because obviously Be the Change, all the courses are propagating, making change. Pretty radical, actually, change, in fairness, apparently. But so week 7 in each of the courses is about dealing with resistance, which is primary to dealing with the feedback resonance of people making change and then other people reacting against that change. So sometimes it's awesome and it feels amazing and super inspiring, but the kind of polarity of that, which I talk about in all the courses, is increased awareness and sensitivity. As good as it sounds, there's a polarity of having that increased awareness. Overwhelm, like people's bullshit, people being like, who do you think you are making those changes? Like, what the fuck? People teasing you, mocking you, bullying you, blah blah, right? Blue blee blee. So every week 7 talks about dealing with resistance, and then each course week 1 to 6 is just a little bit different, right? It's like although week 1 is almost always in each of the week or each of the courses talking about like how to do the course, basically, because it's like all to love vibrashe. It's all mega intuitive. So I know like some people would read through all the material and then sit through, like in order, sit through all the videos, which is totally legit. At the same time, similar to like how I know some people ingest the book, they read it all the way through and then they just kind of like pick. They'll like open natural at certain points and be like, oh look, I just opened it here. Maybe this is a reminder to move my body. And there's a repeat, so there's a lot of, because it's me, obviously, like I'm the person behind the creation of all this stuff. So there's definitely crossover. Like in week 6, I do talk about, is it week 5 or week 6? I do talk about like conscious movement. So the first 4 weeks of Unplug for Freedom are essentially week by week. Like first, like how do you absorb the course? How do you actually sit the course? And then you just basically ingest a bunch of new paradigm information from mainly me and like the team, which is just me and my mom and my friend who I met yesterday. He's like sort of a bit of a financial advisor and just a trusted comrade basically, but he's also really into reading and he helped edit. Oh, he's my photographer. Robin, he's my photographer, so he took this photograph and he's taken pretty much all of my yoga photos. And he's also a really good friend to have to hand when it comes to editing because he's got a good eye for editing. So my main editor is my mom, and then Robin is also somebody who sat with mom and I to read through the whole book and find any edit typos. And he's my photographer. He's been taking my photos for years. So the material does cross over, right? Barbara Walters wishes she was you. I wish I was Barbara Walters. I'm like, hook it up, Barbara. So the first week is basically saying this is what you're going to unplug from. And then each week covers like the benefits you get. So some of the benefits: greater mental clarity, increased vitality, increased creativity, more time for play, rest, and social activities. So I'm like, you know, and most of you guys, I'm preaching to the converted, so whatever, but whatevs, yeah. And then each week has an exercise section. Bye, Elf herself. Or no, is John leaving? You're saying bye to John. Bye, John. Safe travel. Safe trip back to the UK. Once you're back, you'll know who got into power, basically. I say these things that I'm like, I don't believe in them at all. I'm like, that's not the real power. Anyway. So, and then each week also has exercises that you can do. Like, so week 1, I have you scan your life for areas where you have conversations about mainstream media programming. So the exercise section basically gives people an additional tangible thing to hold on to that will help them see it through, because these are the exercises hit up against, I personally think, areas where it makes things more challenging. So like, you know, people, oh, they might be listening to one of these shares and think, oh yeah, I definitely want to unplug, and then they unplug or they buy the course, and then after the first week of unplugging, they come up with, you know, they end up having a conversation with a group of friends that they can't have a conversation with because they're not plugged in, right? And so I'm giving them exercises to help them overcome those potential pitfalls, you know. Elf herself is the Mad Hatter. But not, I want to say like the Yogi Hatter or like the Rainbow Hatter or something like that. And then each section has additional resources. So FYI, I'm probably going to be finishing up the written content, but then working on the tech. So like in the next week, before I fully kind of complete it and launch it, if you guys come across any online articles, books, case studies, reviews, YouTube videos around the theme of anything that is leaning toward the bias of people should unplug, basically. So psychological journals or books maybe that are about unplugging from mainstream media and why it's so good for our psyche and our humanity, basically, and our freedom, the freedom of our mind, essentially, right? So if you want to send any like book titles my way, feel free. You'll be adding value to the Unplug course. Funny because it's so weird that they all somehow cross over, because in doing the Unplug research, I have actually stumbled on more material for the Zero Waste course as well, which I wasn't expecting to do, but hey ho. So this is my life. This is what I do. I broadcast on YouTube in the middle of the night, and then I spend my days getting sat on this computer writing for the masses to be like, guys, stop watching TV. It's programming your mind to be a consumer and to not actually be a feeling sentient being. I know I'm not as entertaining now, am I? It's all connected. There is no separation. That is true. That is true. Iced tea is interesting. So, absorb the material, week 1. Week 2 is all about the mainstream media. I think most of you guys here are probably unplugged from mainstream media. If you're not, then go buy my course. You can pre-order it, don't worry. Buy it. Go buy it. So, and then week 2 is about mainstream media, and I'll go over, I talk about the mind control agenda. I talk about programming as, and like basically trying to get people to understand what's happening to their mind as far as like how we've been programmed, especially this generation, like 70s and 80s, or even really from the 50s and 60s, right? But our minds got programmed to act out certain programs, to be a certain way. Our behavior is being programmed basically. And that's like a fucking hard pill to swallow, right? You're like, no, I buy this because I want to. I'm like, do you? Do you buy it because you want to, or do you buy it because you're told to? And if you don't buy it, you're not going to fit in. Think deeply, people. Question. Maybe it's not for everybody, but I even realized that in my new paradigm energy of like going to charity shops. Am I buying it because I genuinely like feel en flow, or am I buying it out of some pattern that is hiding me from more of myself, you know? Yes. Yes. So yes, it's permeating the field for sure. Get them to buy the Unplug course at my site. Or I mean, like, also all of these Be the Change courses, they're all aligned with each other and the whole movement, because people can stay zero waste by buying digital products. You know what I'm saying? I cannot live without my deluxe pocket waffle iron. I like your vibrashe. I swallow. Because I'm trying to think of like what little devices would I really love. I'm like, a pocket waffle iron? I'm like, that is legit awesome. I'm like, anyone who loves waffles would want one. They're like, wait. I have my pocket waffle iron. Shit. I must say, you guys, thanks for being here. I actually like feel a lot better. It's been quite a share today. Tears, laughter, embarrassment, shame. Okay, and then I talk about consumerism. So obviously they kind of go all together. Mind control, programming, consumerism. This is all a week 2. And then once you get the bulk of the energy, then each week has the benefits that people are going to feel, exercises, and additional resources. Week 3, link to waffle iron, please. Right. Okay, now we all want pocket iron. Pocket iron. Oh, I don't iron. Waffles? Sure. Clothes? Never. Haven't done since I walked out of a waitressing job where my manager was like, honey, you're going to need to iron that shirt. I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep this job. Like, I'm not ironing my waitress shirt that's just going to get food and shit on it, but you want me to, be put out a certain way. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't force myself to take this job seriously enough to iron my top before coming into the shift. So I guess I'll leave. And she's like, well, you don't have to leave today. I'm like, I will, because I don't want to be here. Like, charity canvassing, door-to-door charity canvassing, and waitressing jobs, I would often, and retail. Like, I can't even, I'm sure it's more than a handful of jobs I've like come in and then been like, nope. Like, I get the job. I like go through the motion of being like, I'm a good citizen, getting a job. I'm like, oh, you're a huge corporation. No, I can't work for you. Sorry. I thought I needed the money, but I can't sacrifice my principles. So I'm going to have to find a better way. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know how I've gotten through this life. Especially when I like feedback off of other like normal humans who like you just this is how you're supposed to function, and I'm like, I don't understand. I don't understand how people are functioning. I mean, I don't think people are functioning that well, in fairness. Like, sometimes that's another thing about my love for humanity, but then this resentment where I'm like, guys, fucking take care of yourselves. Fucking have some dignity. have some, have a good breakfast, Elf. It's gonna be my breakfast soon in a couple of hours. I'll probably have a cherry and blueberry smoothie. So listen, if you guys don't know, have I managed to finish the share? Not quite, but that's okay. A smoothie love. Sidestep. Oh, by the way, you get lots of smoothie love. Birthday breakfast. What? Yes, Divine Sight. Thank you for the memory. Happy birthday to you, Elf. Happy birthday to you, Elf. So, smoothie love. This is my new favorite smoothie, FYI. It is legit awesome. So go buy yourself a bunch of ginger, chop it up, take the skin off, use the remains of the ginger to put into a drink where you put hot water and maybe agave and make a ginger syrup for yourself, okay? So you chop up the ginger, put it in the freezer, chop up your lemons, put it in the freezer. So you have like these kind of like, I don't know, quarter-sized chunks of ginger and lemon. And you use only one, like a quarter size, like just a chunk of ginger and a chunk of lemon. But they've been in the freezer, so they're frozen, alright? And then, so you have your chunk of ginger and your chunk of lemon. One of each will go into your smoothie. And then you have blueberry and cherry. Frozen blueberry, frozen cherry. Put her in the blender. Put some agave. So you got a piece of ginger, piece of lemon, quite a lot of banana or berries. Any fruit would be delicious though. Apple would be really good. You can throw some apple in there for extra sweetness. And then put some oats. Some classic, Scottish porridge oats. Put some oats in there. And then either water or some kind of milk. So oat milk, cashew milk, hemp milk, soya milk. So I love how I'm blabbering about my smoothies. You guys are talking about the waffles. Enjoy breakfast, everybody. So, and then you put agave. And it's all really, and then you blend it. You can add some spinach for extra deliciousness. But I think the oats have made quite a bit of difference for me. Elf, have a joyful breakfast, my friend. Maple syrup instead of agave. Maple syrup is pricey over here. I mean, it's pricey anywhere, but the agave is more affordable. Well, apparently stevia is meant to be quite good as well. So that little chunk of ginger and little chunk of lemon is the thing. And then you add the different fruits like a strawberry or banana and cherry is really good as well. Add the spinach, add some oats to make it a bit creamier. It basically tastes like dessert. It's delicious. I'm probably going to have some of that for breakfast. I also freeze my spinach if I don't think I'm going to get through it in time. So guys, I was talking about week 1 being about mainstream. No, week 1 is all about like just why is unplugging useful to you. Week 2 is about mainstream media. Week 3 is talking about, hey, blueberry banana be good. I mean, banana's a nice sweetener for any of it anyway. Have a wicked breakfast and gorgeous day, Elf. I'm trying to think, Elf, you're way ahead of us, aren't you? 4 or 5. You're maybe about 5 hours ahead of me, I think, here. So it's like, yeah, 8, 9 in the morning. Anyway, strawberry syrup. Ooh. I swallow. I'm not. I mean, I could swing on trees all day, really. So yeah, week 2 is mainstream media. Week 3 is social media. Social media is an addition from the All to Love movement perspective because I didn't really put just any social media unplug stuff in here, even though Unplug is part of the foundational work of the Fearless Life Guide. I just wasn't aware. Like even 3 years ago, I wasn't aware in the same way of the impact of social media. And I would say even in the last 3 years, the amount of propaganda, psychological warfare, and like sponsored ads is expanding exponentially on even the social media platforms. So yeah, they feel different because advertising changes how they feel ultimately. And then when you're being targeted, it also changes. So the fact that I know that we're being targeted on social media, I feel it is definite a case for the unplug stuff. And the fact that I'm reclaiming my mind and losing essences of self, but I realized that those essences were actually attached to social media, which is part of the program. So we like can lose ourselves in the attachment to the image that we're projecting on social media. Does that make sense to you guys? It's the ego, it's the attachment. So basically it's been, even these last couple of weeks since coming off social media, I've had to reframe my own sense of self to not be attached to the personality that I'm creating on the social media chase, right? Because that's not ultimately who I want to be anyway. Yeah, they're, dude, hello, well. Welcome Eric to our share today. Another legend in the house, another all to love ledge, in my opinion. I'm thinking of your Instagram page where I'm sure it says something like everybody's father or something like everybody's dad, something like that. So week 3, I talk about social media because I now completely feel that unplugging from social media is super duper important. And then week 4 is probably like the most challenging one for me at this stage still, which is where I'm headed though, is the devices. So I would have like somebody like me would have hours in the day where I'm either working on my camera. The child support has its perks. I bet it does, my friend. So like where I vision myself going is that I'm still an online content creator. I still host events and put on, I'm still doing this, right? But like in my day-to-day reality, I might be creating content. So yes, I'll be filming stuff. Yes, I'll be editing. Yes, I'll be writing and then uploading. Eventually, I'll be able to afford to pay people to do the uploading onto the different sites for me, right? But my personal, yes, so I'm editing and I'm working on my computer. But the one thing that's changed for my usage on the phone is that I'm not fucking checking on my social medias constantly or feeling like the self-importance. Like, it was actually kind of mind-blowing yesterday, the fact that there were things I was doing where I was like, God, normally I'd be posting about this. Like, look at me, I'm at my cabin, or look at me, and I'm like, that's what I mean about how our egoic attachment to whatever we're projecting on the social media, regardless of what it is, good, bad, positive, not so positive, inspirational or not inspirational, regardless, it's designed to just make more noise, you know? And from my point of view, it's not particularly healthy for my sanity, you know? I'm like, I don't want to be on those sites. I don't want to have to share all the intimate private moments of my existence. It's not, who cares about what I'm eating or, you know, who I'm going to lunch with, or, you know, and it's only my own egoic sense of self-importance that thinks that that's important. But we have an entire generation of our human species that has been completely swept up in that game, which is also the evolution of the AI, the roboticized aspect of our humanity. And my existence exists on the screen, but it doesn't. And I don't want to lose my humanness. I want to be fully human. I want to feel my potential here, which, curiously, detaching and unplugging from social media has thrown me into another existential crisis, which is okay because I'm used to it. Because I always ask questions like, what is life? I'm like, is it just me though? I'm like, come on. You know, you look around at people like shopping or like doing their things, and I'm like, nobody's got to figure it out. More and more people are a bit like, what's actually happening here? Like, why are we, you know, stressing out about Christmas shopping? Why are we da-da-da? Yeah, because we got a fucking program to do it, basically. Exactly. AI. Zombified. You become a better consumer if you don't think freely. I mean, and this is what this whole course, Unplug for Freedom, truly is about, people. You think you're free if you meditate, but you're not free if you're ingesting media. Not certainly media that has an agenda, sorry. Like, I think that's maybe the difference, is that you, right now, you're having a conversation with another human in the world who's just sitting in her bedroom, who's thought about this stuff for years and years and years and years, right? And then who's chosen to live her life like this, and apparently at this stage in the game it's more radical than I ever thought it would be. And then I don't know where I was going, but freedom. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but yourself can free your mind. So my point is that, people, it's one thing to meditate, it's one thing to do the kind of all the spiritual work, but if you're meditating for 10 minutes and then turning the news on, or doing your yoga practice, and then I'm guilty of this, but filming it so I can post it on social to be like, how fucking sweet am I? Like, look at me, how good am I doing my yoga, blah blah blah. Right. So that, I'm like, we attach our identity to that rather than being the aliveness that we are, right? Hi Lori, hi Violet Melon, I saw you guys. So yeah, so week 3 I talk about social media because I'm increasingly not impressed with social media anymore, and can feel the healing that I'm undergoing from unplugging from it. Not to mention the fact that I feel like a nothing, and so sometimes I'm like, have to check Facebook just to double check that I'm still relevant. I'm like, oh. And then the weird polarity of like not giving a ass, but still being a human, being like, okay, well, like, I shall continue humaning in this body until I'm not in the body anymore, I guess, until I bounce out. Not impressed. I'm not. It's just, again, social media now, it just feels more noisy. It's more noise. Everyone, and I'm not saying it's good or bad or right or wrong. Everybody's just shouting to be heard. But who do we have to be heard to? The self. I'm like, MJ, it's only you here that gets, just love yourself here. And you're like, really? Is that really all? It's like, yes. And then all of your life can kind of reflect that. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out. I don't think anyone has it figured out. And that's like another big piece of everything that I propagate, which I swallow, was saying. Was saying that. It was like, you're your own guru, guys. Figure it out for yourself. I'm someone who followed along a certain program and am still unplugging from that program. Although, the one thing that I truly, truly can still adhere to and still, to a certain degree, propagate, is that I'm still way happier, FYI. Just because I have expressed emotion and I express really openly and honestly and vulnerably the highs, the lows, the sitting in the fucking shit, the like, what is life? And like, I love humanity, I resent humanity, I love humanity, I resent, like, I'm showing you the legit, in the moment, present reality. At the same time, when I look at my timeline of life, I am happier. I am a better, I am a better human being. Yeah, layers of programs within programs there. And that's what's happened, is that I'm somebody who's been laying down fucking programs. I shed that. I snake farted my way out of that program. I snake farted my way out of that one. And then I laddered, and then I snake shot my way up the ladder. Oh my god. But it's true. Those of us who feel me around the transformational energy of all of this, is that we're people who've been shedding these programs. We sidestepped the convention. And that's part of why we are examples of new paradigm, is that we don't fit into old paradigm. Simple as that. And thus we are here endeavoring new paradigm, which is a shape-shifted human belief system. One that I feel intuitively will serve a greater whole, i.e. uphold the wellness, the well-being, which doesn't necessarily look like how the powers dictate it to look, but all in all, a new paradigm is aligned with resource-based economy, which is aligned with a broader slash, you could say, higher perspective, one that is aligned with the human heart, which means a human that has empathy, compassion, and an intelligent capacity, so a mental intellect that is aligned with intuition and emotion. Part of the imbalance of the old worldview that I perceive is that it's via separation, that people are thinking and operating in a false perception because they're not connected to the feelings. So if we disconnect from the feelings, we're basically only ever seeing half of the story, which means, right, patriarchy, male-dominated worldview, blah, blah, blah. It's like that we're all these humanoids disconnected from the heart going, this is life, this is life, no, this is life. And none of us actually know what life is because we're not connected to the we're not connected to the experiential reality of our own existence, which is high in the feelings. We're all like, don't feel, woo, feelings, woo. That's why we have a fucking anxiety and depression epidemic, because people live in denial. And anyway, of feelings. Like, no, I'm not feeling that. Yeah, you are. And i.e., and like another big thing is like people are basically like running around in fear. This part of, again, the unplug plight. Unplug for freedom, my lovers. People don't even fucking realize it. They're people are just round and round in circles in fear, you know? And you're like, oh no, transform that shit, mo flow lover. But being unplugged gives people a way bigger advantage. I mean, I think it's an advantage to be unplugged. I think so. Anyway, for that very reason, anxiety and depression, and preventing her from doing what she is called to do. We have decided to get her, what's the GED, so she can be done with, yeah. Well, and I mean, there's polarity within all of that as well. I think for sensitive young people, we would probably put ourselves in that same bracket, but they're also in it. And so I wouldn't even have to narrow it down or put it down to one specific thing, but just going into the energy of certain schools, it breeds anxiety. So somebody like your daughter, your child could probably have a great weekend, feel really good, feel really clear in the self, and then almost go in, you know, fresh as a daisy, feeling good, feeling protected, and then it still gets boom, because there's so much just general anxiety in those environments, including the teachers. You know, that's right. Well, and I would say more and more of this community, it's like, you know, kids chose you, you chose the kids, and that's why they're the next leaders of the next generation, right? Because we have to. Sometimes it feels so big, but then I'm like reminded there's all these people. Aqua Mermaid still have anxiety. So I'm getting something around, look at other patterns then. Look at the environments you associate with. See if you can trace a trigger point. So figure out if there's people, if certain conversations, certain zones. So just look at a week or a day or whatever of all the patterns, and then try to pick out where anxiety is being triggered. That's all I can sense, is that we just unravel it bit by bit. And I think it was Divine Sight said that, it's like there's patterns within patterns within patterns. And I find this in my own beingness, as an academic or thinker or intellectual or whatever, I often have to remind myself to just stop. You know, like especially because I noodle, I conceptualize abstract thought. I conceptualize visions, you know, rather than anything potentially already tangible or already pre-constructed or created. Which is again different from I guess the majority. couldn't continue. Yeah, I stopped going. So there is that. It's that it's not even just the, I want to say, the kind of inherited energetic outpouring of the individual. It's also the way their specific unique energy is biofeedbacking off of those systematic strongholds. You know what I mean by systematic strongholds? Schools, hospitals, institutions. She's a junior now. So and it's only been, is it just this year? Jamie? It's just this year that she went, right? Went back and got my degree. I left college. Well, it's interesting as well. Violet, was that Violet? Yeah. It's like all these years later, I can enjoy going to a club, or I can enjoy going out. I think there's certain things that once we anchor into ourself, once we have a better sense of our own self and our own awareness, we can reemerge into different, maybe social situations or systematic situations, and take what we need from it, rather than being unconsciously programmed by it. There's so much in here, and then I feel like this is like a layering to another share about the school system, and there's so much wisdom here. I gotta say, you guys, I really love you all. Plus the energies, yeah, since school started. So that's like, again, hyper aware people, not and this is a positive thing, but hyper aware, I don't mean that sounds almost like a negative thing, but like the sensitive, the highly sensitives, you can almost feel it in the ether. Like you can feel the energy of September, of like the building up to school, and more people feeling anxiety, teachers having to go back to work. You get the compressed energy of those institutions, right? Sounds pretty much like my life. I feel like once I got back to sleep after the intensity of August, probably by the end of September, I started sleeping properly, and then I've just been sleeping 8, 9, 10 hours a day kind of thing. Just allowing it. I'm just more surrendery vibes. So Unplug, we're in week 4. So week 3 talks about, here's the polarity as well. Week 3, I do talk about, obviously, unplugging from social media. But then also in week 3, we talk about global connectivity and evolutionary expansion. So I make sure to kind of put in polarity of the opposite, the positive of media, right? Entertainment, stuff like that. And then week 4, I talk about the devices, which is my next level of unplugging, is like how to be better discerning. In week 4, we talk about intuition, talk about balance and human connection. And then week 5 and week 6 is ultimately about reconnecting. So week 5 is where we talk about relaxation, meditation, reconnecting to nature, movement, finding, and this isn't me propagating yoga, this is just me going like, find ways to move your body that feels good for you, like we know that moving our body is good for us, but to me, I was a gym junkie for a long time, and that don't do shit if you don't love yourself, basically. So if you're just going through the motion, like exercise because I hate myself and I hate my body, your body will still be in pain probably, and you're not likely to actually be exercising it in the most effective way for functional movement. Most of us don't need to be professional dancers or bodybuilders. We just need to have a body that moves well and doesn't harbor pain. Pain usually is made manifest through a stagnant energy, lack of movement, and or repressed emotional stuff, which then creates patterns of more of that non-feeling good in yourself kind of thing. So conscious movement. Yes, Melvin, thank you for your input there. I'll definitely do that. It's funny because it came in yesterday, and there's a part of me that's grieving the loss of that girl, that my old, like, I'm yoga. But I still love yoga. So yes, I will share some yoga with you over the Christmas break for sure. And so week 5 is, yeah, week 5 is just that stuff. Anything? Yeah. Oh, you guys are on it. And then week 6 talks about, where was I? So week 5 is basically reconnecting and like teaching people. So now you're unplugged and you have all this time. What you gonna connect to? Obviously, I'm somebody who wants to propagate people connecting to themselves so they can be their own guru, right? Like I don't I don't want any people being like, what do I do now, MJ? And I'm like, I don't know. You figure it out for yourself. I don't know. Although I am creating some yoga video libraries for some private clients as well, whom I love. I just love the people that I work with, basically, like loads. And then week 6 is remembering who you are. And then I do draw on this book a bit because I go a lot about reclaiming your star power. So week 6, there's a bit of a mishmash in week 6, but week 6 is like, okay, yeah, now you reconnect. And then in your reconnection point, you're going to remember more of who you are, which is like your star power. And, oh my God, I swallow. So, okay, I remember we mentioned like Eckhart. Eckhart is like probably like, I guess my fave guru, spiritual teacher, wisdom teacher. And then Alan Watts is somebody that I really appreciate because I remember in one of his series, he mentioned being like, I'm just a spiritual entertainer. And again, as someone in this world, like people are like, you're spiritual. I don't like consider myself spiritual. That's the weird thing. I'm like, I know, I get it. I meditate and I do like spiritual stuff and I talk about certain spiritual things, but I'm like, I'm kind of just more human. But I think about someone like Alan Watts, and I remember in one of his lecture series, he called himself like a spiritual entertainer. And I kind of more align with that. Like, I'm not serious enough to take myself seriously as like a spiritual guru who has any fucking answers whatsoever. I just like to noodle. And so I consider myself more of a philosopher, like a spiritual entertainer and a philosopher. I dig on that. I think that massages my ego and makes my heart flutter. I'm like, yeah, I'm a philosopher. I'm just like a modern day philosopher. Isn't that weird? I'm like, but you're still not serious. I'm a serious academic. I'm like, but I am. Like, I do think that way. I just couldn't abide by academia. But are you really? No, Divine, shh, don't go there. Shh, don't tell them. Don't let anyone. But yeah, people like labels. People want to know, like, what do you do? I'm a philosopher. I'm a public figure. I'm an online entrepreneur. So basically, let's crack on with the Unplug course, shall we? It's actually, I want to tell you all that I'm actually a very talented actress that likes to put on accents as well. I just couldn't abide by the industry of entertainment because it's a crock of shit. You know what I mean, though, right? So week 6 has a bit of a mishmash because week 6 I actually talk about, okay, yeah, reclaiming who you are, remember your star power, right? Like the essence. This is a little bit about where Divine Say and I are kind of joking about of like our humanity, but then you can bridge your consciousness to remember more of your essential self beyond the human imprint of this incarnation. So then I talk about new paradigm business in week 6. I talk about resource-based economy in week 6 because I've planted so many seeds, and people, I think by week 6 of unplugging, people are like, oh my God, my mind is there's so much space and clarity. I'm like, well, you're reconnecting, right? You're reconnecting, and then it's like, and then what? And then I think it's really nice to plant seeds about how people can create businesses based on creativity new paradigm energy, which is more aligned with love. I talk a lot about the Venus project. I have a whole article from Jacques Fresco, basically, or about Jacques Fresco's vision of a resource-based economy, you know? I can't tell when you are adjusting the sound, your face turns bright red. Yeah. So talk about resource-based economy, but planting little seeds of like, because so often when you're making change or endeavoring to be the change, people are like, well, and you're like, well, there are options, you know. It's not like I'm just like, the economy sucks ass, and you know, everybody needs to change. I'm like, well, what the fuck are we gonna do? And I'm like, well, this is an option. This is just a potentiality, right? So after the article, I just write, a resource-based economy makes a lot more sense for a more compassionate perspective, from a more compassionate perspective. So this is one potential for where we are headed. Okay, so you imagine more conscious creators have the paradigm shift or undergo the paradigm shift and then endeavor to create businesses from new paradigm perspective. And then these new businesses essentially are what's pioneering a resource-based economy. Power of the people, there's no doubt in my mind that the power of the people are here to so you imagine the construct of the old paradigm is a holographic illusion of control and domination, right? And that's a veil, an illusory veil. More people are awakening, and then on the ground creating new worlds. Hi everybody, I'm MJ from Ultra Love World. Oh, there's E, you know. Oh, look, there's Divine Sight from her world, and there, and then more of those new paradigm communities. And then we're like, what new paradigm? And then we forget that that other world even exists. I just sometimes I think we're still building the bridge, so it gets like dirty. I'm trying to make a joke about it, but it's not coming. I'm too slow when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm from Uranus. Although that makes me think, I'm pretty sure I was like 13 when I realized that babies didn't come from our butt. This is like my people laughed at me a lot growing up. They're like, people would call me like a space cadet a lot, or just be like, you're retarded. And I was like 13. I'm like, yeah, but you know, when women have to push, I think because I equated, you know, like pushing, you push for poo. Oh my god, I'm definitely closing the share after this. They push, the poo comes out. And then I'm like, no, Molly, that's this is a different hole. And I'm like, oh right, yeah, I knew that. I blame the education system. I'm not gonna blame myself. I'll blame the education system. I'm like, why didn't they do? I mean, you don't even learn about that stuff until you're like 12 or something anyway. I just didn't realize how miraculous the womb and vagina was. I'm like, Sam, those saucy bits are magical, aren't they? And also, you shouldn't push when you're pooing, you guys. You should squat like this. And just let poo drop out of your arse. Oh my god. I'm out. I'm leaving. This is just getting too bonkers. I swallow. Babies come from snake farts. You know what? Sure. Why not? But, squatty potty, it's better for your rectum. Is that a thing? I'm not sure. But it is. It's natural. You know, in the East, this is still how they shit in holes in the ground. And it's better for your arse and rectum. Just by the way, snake fart pose. I'm just gonna give like a little mini round of applause to Andy P for pointing out who's made this share extra spicy. because of her snake fart, because of her reiterating the fact that in yesterday's share we talked a lot about snake farting, and then you guys can check the comments on this last video, but like she then adds a comment to her comment about, oh wait, the best bit was, or like, this is why I come back for the wisdom here, is like, let's, oh, I don't even remember, something about let's shit fart the snake skin right off our back or something like that. Let's fart the snake skin, the snake skin off our, I don't know, anyway, I can't remember, but it doesn't ultimately matter because okay. Well, I heard about that as well. Apparently women poo-poo uncontrolled, have uncontrolled poo-poos when they're giving birth as well, which just another reason for me not to have babies. I'm now, I think I'm possibly going over this hurdle of like beyond the point of like, I don't want to do that. I get it. I get how beautiful and miraculous it is, but I'm like, I don't want to put my body through that. I just look at other babies and be like, oh, you're so cute, and then give them back to their parents. Snake Kardashian. Oh, and maybe that's what's confusing my mind as well. I watched something with those Kardashian people in it, and I was just like, this is popular culture. Like, this is what people are watching. And and not only, it's like, okay, I'm not judging people watching these people. They're beautiful and I guess entertaining to a certain degree, but this is what still perplexes me all these years later. I'm like, oh, that's still, like, people care about that. That's important to people. Like what other women are wearing on their face, or what other people have done to their bodies, or, and I mean, I get it to a certain degree, but not in any kind of serious fashion. Do you know what I mean? But this is serious business for these people. Makeup and products and their vanity is serious business. And I kind of look at it and go, isn't there more serious business for us to be endeavoring to look at? I'm not sure. And but that's the popular culture, you know? That's all I'm saying. It's just, it's not good or bad or right or wrong. I'm like, that's the current dominant popular culture, is that we should all care about that. Which then I flip between, because I joke about my vanity, but it is still there. It's still a propagated thing. So it's not to deny that that's not, that we don't all want to look good, that we don't all want to feel good, that we don't want to blah, 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 but not at the expense of other people or the planet, you know, that sort of thing. Anywho, you guys, so feel free to share. Just snake fart your way right to the top, you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. You know I do. And it's Friday. I bet the election results are going to be coming out soon. I swallow cum. Really nice to meet you. Elliot, there's a newbie who's joined us today, and they have a really, really hilarious handle, which of course I fell right into it. I just said it, and then I heard myself say it, but it's been a great session full of fart snake jokes, and snake fart rather, and some sexual laughter on my behalf, because I get embarrassed talking about that stuff. My son was actually conceived in a yoga class. Oh wow, cool. You can actually feel it. I know women are that connected to their bodies. This is, and that's making me think as well, Divine Sight, about that is the prerogative so much, more so for women, just because of the nature of our bodies, but like the reclamation of our bodies. Like, I get to own my body, like, imagine that, and but that's another piece. That's probably another layer for another conversation at another time. Once the swallowing of the cum and the snake fart jokes start to dissipate a little bit, let's have a chat about the female reproductive system. That's so cool. makes perfect sense. I know in truth that that's our potentiality to like feel that connected. In essence, in my awareness, the dominion self is actually in full dominion of all of the cellular activity of the body. We're just told to believe otherwise. Anywho, I'm gonna shoot off now, you guys. I'm losing steam. Not really, but like I kind of am. And I really now I say I wanted to get myself motivated because now I'm motivated. Now I have the motivation to continue with my work. Oh, see, that sounds really beautiful. I'm like, oh, maybe I do want to have a baby. Probably not, but we'll see. I basically today share this hour and a half beautiful time. Hey, what up, Elliot? Thanks. I think you're a gift. You're a gift as well. I know, it's so beautiful. A shower of stars in my body. I'm like, And I wouldn't, like, if it's destiny, if it's meant to be, people are like, you create your own reality. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm not exactly sure I want to, so chill, step back, don't touch me. But in truth, now I just want to finish this course. So this big part of the share today was me snake farting my way up the ladder of get your work done today, MJ. It's Friday today, and I'm probably gonna get some writing done. I might do some more January tarot if that suits you guys, but these are my favorite things mostly. And yeah, buy some books, buy some products, buy some coaching sessions, buy a bunch of stuff from Alta Love, or just give a donation because that's also really, really helpful. Hook it up, my lovers. I love you guys. Have a great day. So special to be here with you. Heart, love, vibrashe. And then virtual hugs. Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs. Oh, I have to actually hug the phone. Like, I can't fake it. I actually have to hug the phone. And like feel the heart, love, vibrashe. So you guys have an awesome evening. Have an awesome evening. And thank you for making these chats what they are. Nice to meet you, new people. Thanks for your subscribes, comments, likes, and all that stuff. Don't forget to share, and most importantly, go buy some stuff from Alta Love so MJ can continue to live. I love you guys. Peace out.